And could I just say, you're a really brilliant host as well. I love coming to these events here.
Please introduce yourself, and I think you've got 2 people's worth of stuff here. But
yeah, so I'm John, John GlassTTY on the socials,
yep.
And this is Pete Goldings, Short Circuit Pete. Sounds odd, doesn't it? Short Circuit Pete. I quite like that.
New tagline.
So yeah, So we got a table shared here, and really we're talking about early games, I suppose. We know how to spoil a party. They're all their fancy junk up there, and we've got proper games from the beginning. So
proper engineering.
What we're looking at here is a PDP-1, a replica of PDP-1.
Yes.
So that's from around 1959, so pretty early. And in '62, so quite a bit after it was introduced, a guy, I think it's Stephen Russell, I think it was, produced what was considered to be one of the first video games, or the graphical video games, and that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
So this round circle here, back in the day, would have been like a radar tube in a big metal tin.
Yes, I was looking at it thinking that's looking like it's replicating.
Yeah. And on this replica, you often see it in that little circle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's quite hard to play on the big screen, let alone on that thing there. Yeah. So that's what that's about, and it kind of represents, I suppose, the first computer game, graphical
really?
computer game.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, as far as I'm aware. So Pete's also brought this nice little setup here. So this guy here designed an electronic circuit that allowed you to play tennis on an oscilloscope.
Yep.
So it's not like Pong, it's like tennis. This is the net in the middle here. So we can serve our ball, and if you're a dab hand at tennis, you can... And I suppose to continue the theme, we've got one of the early home computers, the Altair 8800.
So this was a home computer?
Yeah, this was sold as a kit. This is a clone, it's pretty obviously a clone, it's a bit too shiny, but... So these came out in '75, something like that, and they were sold as a kit.
Okay.
So pretty good, and a hobbyist built them and didn't really know what to do with them, but enjoyed building them.
As a home computer, what would people have done with this?
Well,
historically, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, probably not a lot. It was all about finding out about computers, and the only real way to do that properly is to have one of your own.
Yep.
And especially if you built it, you could learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually people realised you could do things with them. I mean, there was a famous incident where a guy popped a radio on the top and realised the interference this caused could become, it could program it to play a tune.
Okay.
And suddenly everybody went, well, wow, we can do things with this.
Yeah.
So this is great. And so we went on, and of course we know where they went. Well, this one's playing a game here on over a serial terminal.
This game keeps telling us off. It says something like, come on, we don't have all day. There we go.
Yes.
Just being impatient.
Are you trying to tell me I've got to speed this thing up?
No, it's telling us off. We're not playing.
So it's basically Donkey Kong, really, but in an ASCII terminal kind of thing.
That's very clever.
Yeah, and it works quite well. Yeah, it's quite good, really. So this is here, we can jump and go backwards and forwards and do all that sort of stuff.
Do you get very far on this?
If you get to the second level and you don't do anything, you don't get killed. So that's quite good. It's
that's my kind of game.
To be fair, though, it's quite good as a demo. It means I can go and have a cup of tea and people can still see it play.
That's true. That's true. I like it.
Yeah.
So were many things like this created, like the text?
There are one or two, yeah. I mean, I think these ones was released with the K-Pro, which was like a business CPM portable machine back in the day, and I suppose it made it more attractive to buy a few games, a bit of novelty. There's one called Catch-em, which is very much like a Pac-Man type of thing.
Okay.
And there was a thing called Aliens, which to be honest, I can't remember what it was like now.
No, okay. But I've never seen this before, so this
it's actually very playable. You can actually have a good game on it.
Yeah, it does look it, and you don't actually realise you're looking just at characters, and that they're not actually graphics per se.
Well, it's just a terminal, so it's quite clever.
It is very clever.
Yeah, and that's it really.
Thank you very much, John.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I'm Adrian Graham from Binary Dinosaurs, and several weeks ago I discovered that the humble Acorn Atom from 1979 had a port of Chucky Egg on it.
Oh.
And I was already committed to this, but I was struggling to think of an exhibit rather than just putting out machines playing games. Like, no, I've got to be a theme.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, yeah, chucky egg on as many machines as I can fit on a museum table.
Okay, yes.
And have a chance to have all the classic ones that people grew up with. So I grew up with the Spectrum version, so I think that's the best. Lots of people grew up with the BBC version and they think that's the best. And we're all wrong because the real best version is the Einstein. It's not a well-known platform.
Why is that one the best one?
Because it's the most colourful, it's the smoothest.
It is smooth, isn't it?
Henhouse Harry doesn't flicker when he's running.
Okay, yeah.
And it just plays better.
Okay.
I set a personal game, a personal best, yeah. A personal best to try and loop it at least once, because there's only 8 levels. It's a simple game, in quotes. You get to level 8, it goes back to level 1, but the bird's released. So you've got an angry hen coming for you because you're trying to nick her eggs.
Yep.
She's not happy. And so far I've failed horribly in doing that. You see the top scores on here are dismal.
Oh, you see, I don't know. Oh, I see compared. Okay.
16,000 on the Spectrum, but then that was my platform. So muscle memory should have just taken over with that, but not with this keyboard.
No.
I should be using the rubber key one.
Yeah.
But that died yesterday.
Ah. So you came with the rubber keyboard one first, and key.
It's like for all these events, you always bring spares because something will expire.
We've had a couple of other people already today saying that things have just died yesterday or overnight, and it's a hazard. Or like yesterday went whoosh up. Yeah.
My little BBC exploded yesterday.
Oh, was it you?
In here it was, yeah.
Okay.
But
sorry.
Because I thought I'd declawed them all.
Okay.
I'd got all the reefer capacitors that explode. Yep. I thought I'd got them out of all my beeps.
Yeah.
So this one started smoking randomly yesterday.
But that made you worry.
Better turn that off.
The reefer had gone. And,
well, no, I didn't think there was any
That's
in.
what I mean. Sorry. Yeah.
The bloke who was standing with me, he was like, "Oh, that's not good."
No, that's not right.
I don't know. It's only a reefer. Turned it back on. Carried on. It's like, but it's on fire. It honks for the remainder of the day. In fact, you can still smell it now. But Snugsy, one of the visitors yesterday, sat down and he went, maybe sometime. And I was just watching him, just round and round and round. He ended up with 237,000 and 8 lives left before he decided he had to be somewhere else and left.
Yeah. So you had Chucky Egg on the Spectrum. Are you particularly a lover of Chucky Egg, or is it literally just because you heard about it?
Just because I discovered the Atom
Atom
had a port of it.
Yeah, okay.
Which is, it's an odd thing to focus on, but the original BBC version was ported to the Electron, and then the Electron version was ported to the Atom.
Okay.
So they play pretty much the same way.
So have you tried playing this one much?
Yeah. I played it a lot last week when I was setting it up.
Okay, yeah.
It's excellent. When you consider this like a 1 megahertz 6502, there isn't really any extra hardware in there other than 32K of RAM, because the Atom natively could only go up to 12, and the game's a 16K game, so you need extra memory in there to be able to do it. There is extra hardware for, I call it fast mode. Okay. But Chucky Egg doesn't run in fast mode, so that is a native 1 megahertz machine running a game it shouldn't.
Yeah, managing.
Yeah, and doing it really well.
That's quite clever.
And it flickers less than the BBC version. So yeah, it's an awesome thing. Kees van Os, I think, is the lad who ported it.
Okay.
Excellent, well done him. So yeah, all the platforms have done well this weekend.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, I'm Roger from the YouTube channel RetroTechRepair.
Excellent. And what have you brought for RetroFest 2025?
So I've brought a selection of kind of later Z80 central processing unit gaming kind of platforms.
Okay, great.
So we have Sega Master System 2, which is, a think has only just come out of production, or maybe still is in production in some regions, use the Z80 as its central processing unit. A MSX2 Plus, which is the last of the MSXs to use a Z80 as its central processing unit. And then the kind of ill-fated Amstrad GX4000, which was a Z80 CPU games console that came out about the same time as things like the Mega Drive and the 16-bit consoles were coming in. So a collection of some things were more successful than others, from the very successful to the not very successful. But the thing is that they all had the Z80 CPU as their main processing unit.
Okay. So what made you bring these machines in particular?
A combination of things. I've just tried to bring things that are interesting. This one was modded by me. It's not my board. Yeah, but I installed the mod.
Okay.
So it's just this was a cost-reduced version of the console, so it came without RGB or composite out, only an RF out. So this had a RGB modification on it. This I just thought was interesting because you don't see many of these.
You don't see many at all, do you?
So I thought that was interesting. And then this actually is a stand-in because the thing I was going to bring didn't make it, but I'll save that for the next time I'm here.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, excellent.
So
do you play on these much, or?
Not as much as I would like, to be honest. As you probably see if you've been watching any of my gameplay, you'll see that most of the people who've stopped by to play them have done better than I did.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'm more interested in the kind of technology behind them and kind of making them work if they're faulty when I get them.
RetroTechRepair.
That's the idea, but very much an amateur. I kind of open things up and take a look, and I'm learning as I go, and hopefully my audience are learning with me as I go through this journey.
Sometimes that's a good way to learn.
Yes.
By watching someone
that's
work
my
out
hope.
for themselves.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for putting on the event. It's been great. Thank you.
Hi. Please introduce yourself and what have we got here?
Hello, I'm Stephen Usher, ex-system administrator for on the University of Oxford departments, where I saved the old computers from.
Oh, nice. So these are all from previous workplaces?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this spent its time doing seismic data processing.
Okay. Yes.
From about 2006 to 2016.
Wow. Okay. So it has retired itself into gaming. What a fun way to retire.
So the thing is that in the 90s, of course, when students were in their computer labs, they were working hard studiously, weren't they?
100% of the time.
So they didn't play games at all.
No.
Nothing that was networked around the world.
No.
Playing something that's based on something like a multiplayer Thrust.
Okay. Yes.
If you remember the game Thrust that was on the Spectrum, BBC Micro and things, which is of course a derivative of Asteroids.
Yep.
So in this case I've got the two machines running two clients. I've got a server running on here, connected via network.
Okay.
So just like, why is it not working? Oh, the hard drive has just gone to sleep, so that's why.
Having to wake it up.
That's typical, yes. So hopefully, right. So just like in Asteroids, you can spin your ship, fire, oops, I got killed.
Okay.
You get killed a lot.
I'm not very good at these kind of games,
No,
so I probably would have even got that far.
So basically you fly around shooting things and getting shot at by other players and robots. So I got killed again.
Yeah.
No, not only these sorts of games, but I can switch over to here. People recreated things like Battlezone.
Ah.
But slightly different in that this one's got two tanks, which makes it even more difficult.
Okay, yes, yeah. So, this what you're playing here?
Yes.
Is this new or is this?
No, this is from the 1990s.
Gosh.
So
Okay, that's quite cool.
So, yeah.
I wonder if it's like a remastered version or something.
No,
I don't know.
yeah.
It just looks quite. It looks quite
Well,
clear.
this one here is the next generation from 2001.
Okay.
So it's really modern.
Yep, fair enough. So,
But the original program, the game came out in '91.
so obviously you've saved these from a previous workplace.
Yes.
What made you do that? Did you have intention to do this with them, or not?
Well, here today, but
yeah.
it's more either I saved them or they went to recycling.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So that's with a lot of my machines. That's what I've been doing. Basically saving them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and keeping them going.
Yeah.
Do you play on them much?
This one sits in one of my bedrooms, and now and again I just use it for talking on old talkers and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
This does sit in storage because it's big and bulky and heavy.
It's a lot more, it's a lot more space intensive.
But I've got lots of machines in storage, which I bring out to events like this.
That's lovely. Excellent.
So yes, effectively that's 1990s student gaming.
Student working, excuse me?
Well, working? Oh, why would you work when you got Quake 2 to play?
Exactly.
So there you are. You got Quake 2.
Yeah, look at the graphics on that. You forget how good they actually were.
Yeah.
You do forget how good they were.
Yeah. Why else would you pay £10,000 for a machine?
To do research and things on.
Yeah. Not to play Quake 2 at all.
No, never. A bit of downtime.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. Hi, Will.
Hello.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Will Sheldrake. So,
From?
I'm from the Twitch streaming gaming channel Rage Against the Retro, and occasional YouTuber of the same name.
Of the same name.
Yeah.
What have you brought?
So I have bought a selection of Bomb Jack games. So Bomb Jack was one of my favourite games on the ZX Spectrum when I was a nipper, and so many years later I managed to get hold of one of the original arcade boards.
Wow.
That played at Bomb Jack in the arcades. So, and that's what this is here. So this is playing the Bomb Jack game from this board. But we haven't got a full-size cabinet here to have cabinets with us today. So yeah, so we've got the telly on its side because that was how the screen was orientated in the machine.
Yep.
So we have to do it that way. So, so I thought it'd be interesting to bring this along so people could see what what the tech looked like inside an arcade machine, and to play the original arcade game. And then I thought, well, where can we go from that? We can't just have this.
Okay.
So I thought it'd be nice to bring along some of the home ports of the games that were around. So nowadays, everyone's used to playing MAME or having lots of emulation. They play the original arcade version, but back in the 80s, we had our home computers and we played those versions.
We did.
So these three machines are kind of trying to show some of the versions that came out.
And they all do look quite different.
They all look a bit different, and some of that is, I think, due to the the skill of the programmer or the amount of time they had to program the game, or
maybe their artistic style as well a little bit.
Yeah, or or the limitations of the computer that was around. So this is an NEC PC-80 801. So this is a Japanese machine. This is one of the earlier versions that came out. So 84 was this the original Bomb Jack. 85. This one came out by.
It wasn't long after.
No, so very shortly after. But made by a developer called Welcome Cat, who I've never heard of from or since really. But there we go. So that's who's credited here. This is quite a colourful version. It looks quite colourful and looks good. It's a little bit jerky and flickery when you actually get around to playing it. Also, there's no option but to play on the keyboard. So no joystick option on the NEC PC-88. Moving along. Well, this is a Sega Master System, Master System 2 as it goes. But it's actually playing the Sega SG-1000 version of the game, which is a slightly earlier Sega console that but the Sega Master System's compatible, so it's playing. And right on the end, we've got a Amstrad CPC 6128. Again, playing its original game.
Yeah,
so,
this is the version I have.
Yeah, this is one you remember,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You remember the Amstrad version. There was particular reason to bring these two guys on the end here because both in the last year, they've both had recreations or homebrew versions of the game made that are far superior to the ones that you're looking at on the screen now, and you can both, if you Google those online, you can go and download images for both of these games, and you can play those on an emulator at home yourself. So, this is the reason why I brought all these games.
And that's why Bombjack.
That's why Bombjack.
So you've got the original arcade one board. I know you're very much into your arcades.
Yep.
But were you looking for Bombjack, or is it a case of you found it and went, oh my god?
Probably a bit of both, but you kind of see what's interesting to you when you see some things available.
Yes.
You know,
and then it goes out from there.
Yeah. Like retro computers. There's a collector's scene or group of people who are interested in arcade machines.
Yes.
For me, they're interesting because this is kind of bespoke hardware for just playing this game, you know, these were they weren't commercial. They were commercial items for use in arcades, and weren't ever designed to be used in the home. No. And again, when you look along the versions. Oftentimes, when people are making games now, maybe when they, I don't know, but when they made these new versions of these, they maybe could reverse engineer some of the arcade. But when they made these ones, it was probably more likely that they just played the arcade game
and then recreated
it from their own thoughts about how they played.
So it's like the essence, not just the essence of the game, but it wasn't an exact copy of the previous game.
And sometimes when you play it, you'll find that there's some differences, like, and again, some of that's limitations, and some of that's their interpretations. I think it's interesting to compare these things and to see these not just to think, oh well, if I'm retro gaming, I'm going to go straight to MAME and play the arcade one. Let's look at how these home versions looked. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and
You're
thank
welcome.
you for doing all the. I'm just going to say thank you for doing all the recording, and I know Matt's done some. So
Thanks to Tom for stepping in to film me at the end.
Please introduce yourself and what we have here for today.
So I'm Nick, and I've got sort of a selection of things running homebrew software and sort of hacked ROMs and things like that. So here's a homebrew version of Portal for the Nintendo 64, and it runs absolutely beautifully on a completely stock Nintendo 64 here. Okay. That's just a SD card, so it's not doing anything special. It literally is running on the metal Nintendo 64. Here I've got a industrial PC with a Pentium 4 2.8 gigahertz CPU. But because it's an industrial PC, it's got all of the ISA slots, all of the PCI slots you need to make it basically 100% compatible with all of your favorite MS-DOS games. So here I have it playing Fast Doom, which supports the Hercules graphics adapter. So 1-bit monochrome graphics on a Pentium 4, and you can play Doom with it, which is really good fun. And I've sort of modified it to look a little bit more ominous with a Doom sticker.
And a red
fans and red LEDs on the front. So it also runs like super high resolution VGA Doom as well.
Okay. So what's going on in this one here?
That's the VGA monitor for this system.
I see. Okay,
and this is like a secondary monitor.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So it's running Doom in monochrome, but that's just like that's the log it shows when you start Doom, basically. But it hasn't cleared it because it's put the graphics here. So
what made you want to do this?
Well, I really enjoyed exhibiting last year, where I did sort of bring back the 90s dial-up internet experience. And when it was like a gaming edition, one of my favorite things to do is just to load very strange things onto games consoles and PCs and play things in a way that wasn't really meant to happen.
Okay. Push those down.
For example, pushing the boundaries, so monochrome Doom on a Pentium 4.
It's actually incredibly clear.
Yeah, it's
monochrome. It's incredible.
It's actually like monochrome, as in it's not even grayscale. There aren't any shades of grey here.
No. Okay.
The way it looks grey is you're getting dithering.
Yeah.
So little dots, and then the screen is just smoothing it out for you, especially with motion. So it looks like you've got shades of grey there.
Yeah.
But obviously you do not. It also has. If I can jump in more quickly. Just to take Doom but make it even worse. We've got Doom in text mode. So the menus are obviously in text, but here we go, here's Doom. And you can play Doom just using block characters.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably not the best way to play Doom. But here it is, everyone's familiar with this first level of Doom.
Yeah.
And that's the enemy right there. So I'm about to get shot, and it's about by those little pixels there. Yeah. But it does get a bit better than that. So bearing in mind that this is just MS-DOS 6.22. What is it? 600 Pentium. We can also do much higher res, thanks to the Pentium 4 and the graphics card that I've got and stuff. So obviously that looks a lot sharper. That's a lot better than text mode. Put it that way. Yeah, and so that's a community-led. Yeah, exactly. That's a community-led project. So that's a source port of Doom, sort of back to DOS, if you like. Because obviously the first platform it was released for was MS-DOS, and that's quite a recent edition of Doom as well. So
clear, isn't it? It's very good.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Hi.
Hello,
Hello. Please introduce yourself and what have you got here?
I'm John, I'm from RetroBytes, and I, for some reason, thought mainframe gaming would be a good idea for this.
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
We have the world's first bitmap graphics card, all 4 19-inch racks of it.
Yeah.
And that's what this is pretending to be right now, because
Okay, yes.
obviously I don't have one of those, or indeed the truck to bring them here with.
It would take quite a bit to bring it in, wouldn't it?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of effort.
So yes, what we have is, this is pretending to be that display. So this would drive 12 terminals into the mainframe. The mainframe is not in shot.
Okay.
So that's literally just the graphics card. And that little bit of it there's a PDP 1170. You know, the massive box you've got back there?
Yes,
That's just that little small piece of it. And officially the reason they did this was that DRAMs were a newfangled thing, and they wanted to test, do they work in a non-critical break your mainframe sort of a way. So they thought, well, if a bit fails in a DRAM in a graphics display, a pixel goes wrong, the system don't crash. So this is a low-risk way to try this stuff out. I mean, it would have cost an inordinate sum of money.
Yes.
And they found like half the chips didn't work, and some they can only use the top bit of memory and not the bottom bit.
It served a purpose to test it, right?
Yeah. It did the testing bits, but also gave them a way to do graphics on the computer bitmap graphics for the first time. Because they'd done vector stuff with radar screens. Like, in fact, it's conveniently running just there on another person's table. Since Space War's running. But this is the first time it's bitmap and an interactive. The terminal and the display are one and the same thing. Because before it'd been a radar screen, and you might use the teletype next to it to control it. But yeah, we've got multiple things going on at once because it's a multitasking operating system on the mainframe. So we've got a little serial terminal running Adventure. Just to show it's working. And then this screen I'm just running chess on at the moment. Let's make it do a thing so you can see it move. Hang on, play white. So there you go, the computer's playing itself, and it flips the board each time it does it to show you which player you're controlling. So if I tell it play black again,
Oh, that was play white, and so it's play black. Okay.
I'll do play black, and in a second it'll work out its move. It'll flip the board around and show you where the pieces are. Unless someone does something nasty like halt the whole mainframe, which we can do on this. We have a working control panel. So I can just halt the mainframe, and you can see what the machine's actually doing at this point. So that's the program counter in the processor. We have what memory address it's going at, instruction it's running. That's what's in that memory location. And I could actually flip the switches and replace the value that's in RAM. And that's how you would debug stuff. And then you can just tell the mainframe to continue running. And you'll see the terminal went a little bit crazy for a second. It says, right, we're resumed, we're back. We're doing stuff. And same on that text terminal there, just a little less, obviously.
So both of them say the same thing, don't they?
I'll make that do a I think he had to move and it'll then redraw the screen. It's slightly broke. Once it's figured out its move. It does take a moment or two to think, because it is a 1960s mainframe.
Okay.
And runs at 1960s mainframe speeds.
Yes, I'm just looking at the bit down the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been trying not to cheat, and this is running at close to realistic speeds as to what it was.
Speeds on it.
Because obviously the Pi that runs all of this could do this faster than the original machine.
Yeah.
But it does have to pretend to be a few computers though, because it's being the processor in the mainframe, and it's also being that little PDP-11 there, and another PDP-11 that makes the serial ports go, and so it's got a few things to pretend to be to make this setup do its thing.
Yeah, and to make it look realistic.
Yeah.
Or speed realistic.
Yeah, and speed it sort of semi-real. But this is the machine that a lot of the first games were created on, because no one else had computers.
Okay, so what would the first games have been?
So that's Adventure, which is the first ever text adventure game, and it became Colossal Cave and Zork, all descended from this. In fact, Infocom, who made Zork, would sell you a copy for your mainframe that you could run for $300 odd, which is a lot in the like mid-70s. But we get, you know, text chess games for the first time, and you know, it actually looks like a chessboard rather than you know, it's text characters to represent each thing.
Yes.
We also start to get, they ported Space Wars to like the bitmap version. So if I kill this particular application and TV, we have the first bitmap version of Space War.
Oh, look at that.
Running rather than on a vector screen. And you can see how sometimes it gets a little chuggy, but you get multiplayer gaming for the first time. Because these mainframes have this idea of shared memory, so two things use the same bit of RAM, so they use that to communicate. So you got the first ever online role-play games that had more than one person in the MUDs started on the PDP-10. So MUD1 runs on the PDP-10 and it's an ARPANET connection in. You also get the first ever SPF game on the 10. So you had something called an IMALAC terminal, which is it's a MIDI computer and a radar screen.
Right, okay.
But the mainframe could push a list of vectors to draw to it, and it drew them on screen. So it drew a 3D maze, and you moved through the 3D maze.
Nice.
But 3 other people could move through the 3D maze, and you're all trying to get each other, basically. So it's the first-person game in, I say 3D,
scary,
but
like
it's quite dramatic. I don't know if you played Monster Maze on the Z8.
Okay.
It looks like that and has that tension, but it's another player is the one that's going to get you on a different terminal. So it's, I mean, for the time,
so
it was
you'll hear
really,
a cheer at the other end of the office. Yay!
Yeah, and you know you're dead. But you could have 4 people competing on, a terminal that costs more than your house, but still, you could do it. And this is all why microcomputers are just about on the edge of becoming a thing. So this happens before the Altair exists, and there's a microprocessor you can buy and build a computer with. But very quickly, once those machines start to exist, stuff from here starts to get ported to microcomputers so people can play them at home, like Adventure, Zork. It's one of the biggest selling things in the early 80s. Maze got a cut-down version, became Monster Maze.
Yes.
So the idea was borrowed from that. And so, it's a weirdly influential machine for gaming.
Yeah,
just because
it to be.
Not for a mainframe, but it is. So I thought it was like semi-legitimate to bring to a gaming thing. And I wasn't just planning on talking about mainframes anyway. No.
So that's quite interesting. I hadn't realised how influential they had been. If I'm honest. I had no idea.
No, because very few people got to join in and try. You had to be at an institution that had a mainframe and a connection to ARPANET, and be interested enough to try things.
And spend $300 on Adventure.
Well, that's it. You had to persuade your university to buy it, and So very, very limited market. But this is Atari. The guy who started Atari, he saw Space War running on the PDP-1, and their first machine was Computer Wars. Their first arcade, and it is a straight. We're doing Space Wars on an arcade machine. And of course, no one used it because it's a really confusing game involving gravity wells. It's not pub friendly, but Pong worked out quite well for them.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
JP, would
Yes.
you like to introduce yourself and what we have here?
All right, yeah, so I'm JP, embedded systems engineer and accidental Unix system administrator, apparently.
Accidental?
Yeah.
Accidental administrator, okay.
So this is something that's happened over the last 12 months. 12 months ago, someone donated me this Silicon Graphics Power Indigo 2. It's incredibly rare because it's got the R8000 processor. They only sold them for about 18 months. They were a lot more expensive than standard. I don't know anyone else who's ever seen another one. And here it is. And the hard drive died yesterday because of course it did. So wearing my Unix system admin hat, took the drive home, replaced it, brought my blue SCSI with all the install media and backup images, and we're back up and running. So yeah, this was the start of it.
Saved.
Yeah, it's all recovered, all working. I like to use original hard drives in all these machines. I just use the blue SCSI for installation, but that does mean, you know, they do drive occasionally. Yeah. So I got this one 12 months ago. I loved it. And then I started to see other ones appear. People needed to clear out some space. And yeah, now I think I've got in total about 13 90s Unix machines.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem, if I'm honest. So starting over on the left, the oldest one we brought, the Hewlett-Packard 9000 series Model 340. So this is a Motorola 68K, roughly the same specs as a Macintosh 2, but with 4 times as many pixels on the screen. So really high-res graphics for 1989. Quite slow, but you know, impressive for the age. It's diskless, no SCSI, no floppy interface. You can either buy an HPIB disk drive, which are a lot of money these days, or you can network boot. So this is the sort of follow-on model, the 700 series. It has an HP PA RISC processor. It is the cluster server. So they're in an HP UX cluster, and this is network booting off this one. So saved me from buying a disk drive, but you know, now there's 2 of them, twice as much fun. Really interesting file system going on here because they share the same disk drive and the same file system.
Okay.
But they need to run different programs because they have different processor architectures. So you have one folder like /bin,
Yeah.
but if you look at it from this machine, it's full of 68K programs. And if you look at it from this machine, it's full of PA RISC programs, but they have the same name. And there's a special command you can run where you can see both. There's actually 2 copies of the folder. You just get a different one depending on who's asking. They call it a context-dependent file system. If you're used to the idea of a file has contents and you look at it and it's always the same, it's very odd to have a file that just looks different depending on you know, where you're looking at it. So then going forwards a few years, 1992, Hewlett-Packard, another 700 series, the 712. This pizza box, so cool because it's about the size of a pizza box, is running NextStep. So when Next gave up on making their own hardware, they ported their operating system to various other platforms. So we do have NextStep for the Sun Spark Station, and we have NextStep running on the HP 712. I really like this machine. It's just sleek and elegant. It doesn't take up too much space. So yeah, HP running NextStep. So the Silicon Graphics machine, obviously 3D graphics card. They were known for their 3D graphics. So we have, this is what I love about Silicon Graphics. You get a basic install of Solaris and you've got nothing. A text editor, a disk browser. You install IRIX on an SGI machine and there's loads of demos and there's this 3D little program with all these spinning icons so you can go through and, you know, pick the games and the demos you want to play.
Doesn't it say no games allowed?
Yeah, because these are proper serious Unix machines for proper serious work. So yeah, no, you absolutely shouldn't be playing 3D games on your $45,000 workstation. That would be outrageous. Which is, of course, you know, what we've been doing all weekend.
It's been having a fun weekend out.
Yeah, it has. You know, it's casual Friday. And, you know, it's taken off the tie and it's letting his hair down. And on this table, we have 2 Sun Spark Stations. These are both Spark Station 20s. Similar specifications. This one has a single processor module. So I've opened this one up so we can see inside. Graphics card, SCSI hard drive. The machine that's up and running actually has 2 processor modules fitted. You can fit 2. They run very hot. I am quite surprised it survived all weekend.
Right.
This one's running at 60 megahertz. That one has 2 processors, each running at 150.
Yeah.
Quite a bit more heat than the chassis was designed for.
Okay, yeah.
But it's playing the Sun version of Doom, and it's been relatively well behaved.
So that's what's playing over here?
Yes, so on the screen at the end we have the Sun version of Doom, but
yeah.
I think it says something about perhaps Sun's build quality in the mid to late 90s, that most of the plastic trim is held on with sticky tape. As soon as you go near this machine, you breathe on it,
and
the plastic will shatter. You just kind of tip all the plastic shards out and just tape it all back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, the silicon graphics and the HP, a lot more steel involved, a lot heavier,
Yeah. A lot heavier,
bit more robust. So
tell me why?
Why? Because PCs today, they're all very similar. It's like maybe Intel or ARM, most of them run Windows, maybe Linux. But back in the 90s, the workstation manufacturers were making their own processors, their own operating systems, and putting them in their own computers. So although these are all Unix machines, they're all really quite different to use and set up, and it's fascinating to try and understand why did they do it like that? Why did they make those choices, pick this hardware, make those software choices? So yeah, I just think it's fascinating. And
lots of new things every time you get a different machine.
Every time it's a new thing to learn about. I write blogs, so you can find my website, theJPster.org.uk. There's blogs about all these machines, lovely high-res photos. Nice. And it's documenting it.
Yeah.
And actually, you do an event like this and people come along and said, oh, I did molecular biology in 1998 on one of those, or we had one of those. And so although they're not home computers, not everybody had them, people did use them at work and they do remember them, and they appreciate seeing them out. So
fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing these along today.
You're very welcome.
My name is Adrian Page-Mitchell, Esquire. I am the collections officer here at the museum, but I have also brought in my own selection of machines for RetroFest 2025.
So, talk to me about these machines and why.
Okay, so these machines I picked out this year are all machines never released in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Apart from the Vectrex,
right,
which I thought would look really cool.
I was wondering when you went there, and I went, hang on a minute.
So, everything else here, so just very quickly, so from the left-hand side here, we have Casio's PV1000. This is a console from 1983. Only ever had 13 games released for it.
Oh, okay.
It's thought they only made about 9,000 of them because it was a year late and they released it straight into the jaws of not only the Nintendo Famicom, but also the Sega SG-1000.
Yeah,
And let's bring it up. So this is it. And yeah, it had some interesting arcade conversions of the time. So arcade games from the early 80s. This is Fighting Bug, or you may also know it as Ladybug. I'm famously hopeless at these games these days. So but yeah, quite simplistic games. They were never going to cut it in the market, and Casio, not ones to mess around, only had it on the market for a few months. It was also not going to help them with their new MSX standard machines coming along, so it's basically bin it off very quickly, and apologise to anyone who bought them. So it's got a little multi-card with it, so I can play all the games on it.
All 13 of them.
A little homebrew cart.
I was going to say, I was just about to say, if there's only 13, has anyone ever created new games since then for them?
Absolutely have. So there's a guy over in Japan who has a cross compiler for all different kinds of formats.
Yeah.
So he writes the game on one and then ports it to
others.
Any other amazing system known to Earth. So this being one of them. So yeah, this is a modern game on an old system. I can never pronounce his name either.
Okay.
Infratutel or something like that. Apologies if I've said your name utterly hideously incorrectly. Oh no. I'm also coming up against the fact that I am playing this with the PV1000's famously dodgy joystick. So the idea of this game, basically, I've just got to shoot the enemy base before the other robots reach my base and shoot mine. So
a bit like capture the flag, but not.
Yeah, capture the flag kind of thing. There we go. So that's that one.
We've seen that. I've seen this before. Right?
You've seen this before, yes. This is the magnificence that is the TurboGrafx 16 CD. I spent 5 years trying to track one of these things down, and celebrated for about a week once I did. So I have a huge amount of PC Engine consoles.
Yeah.
This is the American one. So released a couple of years after the Japanese one. It's about 4 times the size of, well, no, about 3 times the size of the Japanese one, which is only about this big.
Yes, it's tiny, isn't it?
So yeah, this is one, we've got a CD-ROM system on it, and we can play games such as the wonderful Rainbow Islands here. So yes, they launched this around about 1991, the CD system in Japan and in America, sorry, and yeah, it just didn't do very well at all. So it didn't quite have confidence in it, despite it being an absolutely fantastic system.
It's a fantastic machine, isn't it?
And because they lost out in the American market, they didn't do much with the European launch. We were going to get one of these, but light grey and a little bit wider.
You know, that's me.
Yeah. So it gave Nintendo a real run for its money over in Japan, though. They were level pegging for quite some while over in Japan. And I might stop talking here because I love Rainbow Islands. But yeah, full CD sound, cutscenes, and it eventually, there we go. Oh, that was easy. They released another bigger machine that I was going to bring here, but I'd have needed half the table. So the Super Graphics, great big machine, had new graphics chips in it. They only ever released 5 games. And then they went, this isn't working. And decided to just keep upgrading the CD cards.
Oh, okay, which is a shame when you think of all the research they would have put into it and stop. So.
Yeah, so over here attached to its converter is my Japanese arcade card.
Okay, nice.
To play the much more snazzy later games for it. So, okay, moving along, we have got up here a blank screen.
So what's this Bally? The Bally?
It's a Bally computer system.
Yep.
So this is the second iteration of this console. The first one was called the Bally Home Library. And years before the Neo Geo, Bally basically, through a third party, put their arcade board into a home console. So this from 1978. Like any American machine, it switched itself off after a while. So there we go. Now, yeah, I know the picture's horrible. It's an RF signal,
okay.
NTSC American, NTSC US, I think it's called. And it's not very good NTSC US. So to get it to run on one of our TVs, I've been using this little cable box down here.
Okay.
The RF signal goes into that and then it converts it to composite. There's also a lot of other electronic equipment around it, so it might not look as good as it normally does. So we can select with our little keyboard up here, number of players 1. And I've got this magnificent controller.
That just looks like a sauce bottle.
Down.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry?
It looks like a sauce bottle. Looks like you're about to take that off and pour some sauce out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Worcester sauce.
Yeah.
Worcester sauce, yeah. So up, down, left, right. It's also a paddle controller. And then the trigger's on the front. And what it's doing, it's playing basically the arcade perfect Wizards of War.
Yep, okay.
And also another favourite game of mine, so if I stop talking, it'll be because I'm actually doing reasonably well. Hey, right, where's the wizard? Here he is. Gotcha! Bonus, lovely. So yeah, it's got a multi-cart with it. Big problem being I forgot to bring the switch, the dip switch sheet to change it to something else.
Did these do very well, or did they not do?
No, it sold moderately, but Bally they didn't have any faith in it at all.
Okay.
So they were ready to ditch it, and then they merged with Midway.
Okay, yeah.
And then Midway went, this is a great little system, why don't we convert our games to it?
Yeah.
So Midway's games started appearing on it, which prolonged its life slightly. But then Bally sold the rights to a company called Astrovision.
Yeah.
And they produced the last iteration, red badge with Astrocade across it.
Yeah.
And don't anyone call it the Bally Astrocade. It's not the Bally Astrocade, it's just the Astrocade. But that's the last iteration of it. And then...
Sorry, what's this key? It looks like a calculator.
Yeah, it is a calculator. Okay. So if we take the cartridge out and reset it, don't worry people out there, this is one of the consoles, you can take the cartridge out, it doesn't care.
Okay.
So we've now got Gunfight, it's built-in game. Another game, Checkmate.
Yep.
It's Calculator.
Okay.
And Scribbling, a little arts program.
Okay. And Calculator is calculator.
Like there,
functional calculator. Okay.
Also, you can get a basic cartridge for it. And then you can program it. If you know your hexadecimal, you can actually program on there. They were supposed to have a big keyboard thing. That sat on the top. Great big giant keyboard would have come out here.
Okay.
And turned it into a proper computer. Pop that in there. Oh yeah, this is that's a lovely multi-cart there. And also, they're still writing things for it now, like a lot of these old consoles. But some of them need extra memory, so someone's made the little white RAM box.
Oh.
And you can extra memory. And also, store your don't want to put your cartridges away?
Yep.
There you go. Pop them in there. Okay. So shall we move on? Right. So swap this again. I needed more TVs. But basically, we've got the Neo Geo CDZ under here. There we go. Have a proper look at it. I have it hidden away slightly because if you sneeze on it, it scratches. It's got this lovely little shiny surface on it, but honest to goodness, it is absolutely so easy to scratch. So basically, that's the last home system Neo Geo did contemporarily. So this is back in like '94. So we did have the CD in this country, but we had the one that's this big and has an open top lid and runs really, really slowly. So this one has got extra memory, extra cache memory, so it can actually load games a lot quicker and load parts of games a lot quicker. The previous ones are painful because, as everyone knows, we've now only got the cartridge system, everything's stored on the cartridge, everything gets downloaded into the machine. But obviously trying to do that off a CD is quite difficult. Also, a lot of people do not like the CD soundtracks. Will's behind the camera, but I'm going to ask him. Chip tunes on this or the CDs?
Chip tunes.
Chip tunes, yeah. He said chip tunes. He ain't got mic on, has he?
Well, yeah. I don't know if anyone heard that. We could make it up for him.
Yeah, chip
Maybe
tunes.
Nobody heard that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, just down from that, we've got the Super Cassette Vision. So this is made by Epoch. You might know Epoch more for Sylvanian Animals and all their lovely little toys. So it's a beautiful little thing. It's joypads far away in there, although there will be a lot of swearing later on because trying to get that back in there is nigh on impossible. Yeah, hardwired controllers, you have to use this, and they're awful, I've got to say.
I can't say I've ever seen one of those.
No, so again, there it is. So there it's on the screen. It's looking a bit dark because it's going through an HDMI. But basically, very, very impressive specs for a little console. It's running a game that a lot of people compare to F-Zero like 8 years later.
Okay.
It's quite an exciting little race game, as you can see.
Sorry, when did you say this machine was out?
84.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also, the people that make the PV1000 multi-cart also made these. Multi-carts for this system. So there's about 4 of them, you buy them in a set.
Oh,
because the cartridges got more and more advanced, so some of them are like 128k by the end.
Okay.
So they produce this whole series of cartridges, of which that is one. You might hear the sound on a Super Cassette Vision. I'm just going to charitably say it's not that great.
I thought you were going to say something else that we'd have to edit out, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So also we've got the museum's Vectrex here.
Yes.
which is lovely. So it doesn't come out very often because they're a little bit fragile these days. But on this weekend, a lot of talk about the Vectrex Mini at the moment.
Yes, that's
the remake. I have backed it. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm a little bit nervous. But postage costs from America. Don't know what's going to happen there. Import tax. Oh dear.
It's a very lovely smooth screen, isn't it?
It is.
Vectrex.
And yes, so it's a CRT, but a vector CRT.
Okay.
So something that would be like the Tempest arcade cab, for instance. There's a lot of people asking why the new one uses an LCD screen. Whereas unless they want their Vectrex Mini to cost about £1,000, then that's probably why. And last but not least, I have here, I've got to swap this over and get rid of that absolutely terrible noise. So I've got two Super Nintendo Minis. So these are the original Minis, not like the re-releases.
Okay.
So we have the Super Famicom Mini. In fact, actually, that's called the Super Famicom Junior.
Right.
This is the Super Nintendo Mini. So the American one is a lot rarer. There's not very many of those about at all. And they have two early games plugged into them. So we have Gradius 3 and R-Type, Super R-Type. And when they're first released, let's put this charitably, the Super Nintendo's processor is weak. They were going for backwards compatibility, then they scrapped that idea,
okay,
but they didn't up the processor.
Oh.
So the Super Nintendo it's got a lot of other tricks in it, like Mode 7, you know, the famous Mode 7, but it hasn't got a lot to back it up.
No, okay.
So the processor...
Is that why there's not many of them around? The American ones, is that why there's not many of them around? Or... Well,
this is going back to the early ones as well.
Okay.
So by this point, everyone's like buying Nintendo 64s and PlayStations. So there probably wasn't much market for an early machine. It's quite expensive.
Okay.
So even though they cut it down, they got rid of the light, the on and off light.
Yep.
They got rid of the cartridge eject button, but it has got the much nicer chipset. But why have I bought them here today?
Yes.
So these old games, because of this weak processor, I'm going to get flamed in the comments, but it has, let's face it. Compare it to the one inside the Mega Drive, and it's incredibly slow. These being early releases, they've got no acceleration in them,
okay,
so they slow down and flicker like mad. But I found on eBay, someone had been fitting blast processors to these cartridges.
Okay.
So they now just fly. There's no slowdown, there's no flicker.
Right.
And it's just a lovely little glimpse of possibly what the Super Nintendo had been if they had actually decided to put a decent processor in it. So yeah, I've been playing this on and off for quite some time. And nearly got killed. And yeah, no matter what's happening on screen, it's not slowing down at all. I haven't collected any power-ups. I don't quite know what's going on here. There's one. That would have just slowed to a crawl.
So you're saying previously this would have been quite snaggy?
Yeah, very much so. Very laggy indeed. So once a few things go, it would literally lose half its speed. But also, the sprites, once they overlap each other, would start to flicker quite badly. Right, so I've now got two lasers. I always love this game, even with the slowdown, because the music soundtracks are amazing.
It's quite good, isn't it?
The graphical style's great. But the slowdown ruined it. Oh, he's still coming for me. Got him. Right. Right, here comes the boss. Not the hardest boss in the world to get rid of. He looks really spectacular though. Especially now that his arms aren't falling in half with the slowdown. Extra life, there we go. And yes, so there is my exhibits for RetroFest
not released in the UK.
2025. Not released. Apart from that one, ignore that one.
Yeah, apart from